package the program together. Um, uh, uh, I will quickly pass through some of the kind of specific aspects of the program design, monitoring, evaluation, and then the engagement models. Something that has been a part of the agenda. But I would probably like to take these things more as a part of Q&A rather than a discussion in the presentation. Monitoring and evaluation of the progress of the startups who are part of your cohort of your program is very important, and without that you will not be able to ensure the impact, and without the impact you will not be able to kind of I would say to the contribute to the ecosystem, as well as to be able to kind of probably go back to the kind of either your funding agencies or your I would say the organization as to why you should be continuing such programs. So setting of goals at the baseline is very important. The goals should be both short and the long term. What that means is that typically annual and the quarterly goals is what I think you probably should ensure that they have been set well for the long programs. Ensuring participation from the startups is again important. I'm coming to very granular issues, I understand here, but I think given the backdrop of the broad picture that we have seen in the previous presentation, I suppose the granularity, a bit of granularity might help to all of us here. Ensuring participation and building that probably either part of your agreements or as I understand probably also probably by putting I think in this program itself, fast track, I understand, I think there was a seriousness fees, a token fees, but still just to ensure that making sure the startups are participating, that is important. TRLs and MTRLs another way of measuring the monitoring the kind of progress, but they do tend to be little more kind of there is a kind of discussion. They don't tend to be a kind of crisp or what my TRL, what the way I'm defining may not always be the person sitting across the table will accept that as a TRL. So while it's a good quantitative measure of progress measurement, it probably may not be the only or the sufficient measure for your programs. A periodic interaction remains the probably the best way of gauging the assessment, and please ensure that based on the feedback there is there is nothing wrong in realignment of goals. At the end of the day, we know that the startups there is a proverb that fail fast. I think that's obviously nobody wants to fail, but if you have to fail, you would rather fail fast. So realignment of goals is not something that you should be seen as a failure, but it's only a way of going to the next trajectory. So I think that's something that is also equally important, and I would like to emphasize. Impact tracking, there are different ways of tracking impact, and probably there was a discussion a bit in the previous presentation. Would be happy to take this up in the Q&A. So I think the final kind of point that I am going to make here is the engagement model, and they tend to be very kind of context specific. They tend to be very program specific. They also tend to be a kind of something that can be discussed and negotiated with the startup. So please do not take this as a definitive statement, but there are three main engagement models that you need to be looking at with the startups. Typically, we have seen a reward of some of the kind of schemes or the programs or the competitions is a kind of way in which you kind of give these programs to the startups. Fees, something that startups might need to pay upfront, and given that they are starting up, especially convincing them with the fees, with the large fees, is something that might be tricky. Another way of kind of engaging with the startups is equity, wherein the programs take equity in the startup which they are engaging for a specific program. So that's some of the ways in which you can engage with the startups. With the mentors, I think more typically and mostly we engage with the mentors with honorarium. They are typically designed and kind of decided by the programs which they are part of. But a couple of other important aspects you should keep in mind when you are engaging with the mentors is the confidentiality and the conflict of interest. Typically, in our programs, we at least during the program period, we do not kind of allow any kind of other engagement. It could be as a vendor, it could be as a consultant, it could be as a kind of any other possible kind of way. Or even sometimes if they come from industry, there could be a possibility of a paid pilot in their industry with the startup. We typically tend not to kind of have such things. While it's a very useful and helpful thing for the startup, at least from the program perspective, we tend not to kind of keep that as part of the program. And then ultimately with the funder, there is the third side of the triangle for this kind of engagement, which is the funder. And typically there are operational costs, which is what the funder provides. And they have, the reason they provide these is because they have a specific objective in their mind, and they would like you to implement those objectives. So to be able to design a program which is in alignment with their objectives is something that's something that you probably will have to make sure you do. So I think with that, I have given some of the practical insights that we have developed in many of our programs. I wanted to probably give a couple of case studies, but I probably will stop here at this point of time. This is something that the slide deck is something that you can always access later on. But I probably would like to engage with you in terms of discussion than probably provide a case study. I'll probably leave it to Arvind and the audience as to how you would like to take this forward. Arvind, we probably can take up the Q&A.
Yes, sir. We can start taking the Q&A. So we have already questions popping up in. So in spite of the basically many promotional activities done, many of them are enrolling for the programs, but like the turn up is very few. So how can we overcome this kind of situation, and like is there any strategy to make better engagement of the participants? So this was from Usmania TBI Devakrupa.
Okay, so in terms of the participation, I think one of the ways we have seen is that you probably, to begin with, when you probably do not have a visibility or your own network base, a good thing would be to partner with some of the kind of fellow incubation centers, and that will be probably helpful. That will quickly get you going. As you have your own set of activities implemented, you will develop your own database. You will have interaction with the specific startups, and you then probably will be able to leverage that to kind of increase the participation. I think that's the way I would suggest you could. Beginning is always the difficult time, and you will have to work with in partnership with the others. That would be my kind of a quick input to you. Arvind, if you can repeat the second part of the question.
So is there any strategy to make better engagements of the participants?
Right. So I think in terms of the strategy, one of the very, easiest of the strategies is that to hear them. Because if you know what is it that they are interested in, and you have assimilated those specific inputs in your and the elements in your program, they definitely will come. I think that is one of the most important thing that I would suggest. We have seen time and again, we have seen it that I'll just give you an example that the easiest of the activities, a workshop, you have what is it that you can control? I think you can control probably two parameters. One is the topic, the second is the speaker, correct? And if you have a good if you have ears to the ground, if you have heard your startups well, you know that what kind of topic do they want, and then to be able to kind of get the right speaker to engage with them is very important. I think that's one engagement kind of one program on one side of the spectrum. The other one is what we call the advancement program. It's a 12-month advancement program at CCAMP where we have a deep dive engagement. Every 2 weeks, we have one meeting with the mentor, with the anchor advisor, what we call. And what we do is that at the beginning of the year, there is a meeting with all of us, the program manager, the anchor advisor, the industry expert, and the startup. And we come to a consensus that these are the 5 objectives that we have. For example, it could be clinical validation. It could be the freeze of the design for manufacturing. It could be the introduction to 5 kind of first set of customers, XYZ. It could be any kind of things. To be able to kind of interact, discuss, and then integrate their what is it that they want. If you integrate that in your program design, I think that is the way of succeeding in your program.
Sure.
I hope I have been able to answer that.
Thank you so much, Niranjan. So Devakrupa, again, like just to roll back, like on 14th, which would be the third session on 14th. So we have a special session on outreach marketing and PR for incubators. Basically, like we will be dealing with such issues on how we can get more number of applications for our programs or events, and as well as the other PR strategies, how we can promote ourselves as an incubator. So the next question is from Vijender. So as the onboarding of good mentors is one of the key factors for the success of startups, can you suggest any good source or platform to find specific mentors?
I would say that while, I mean, our own experience has always been, we have grown this organically, and we have grown this over almost a decade now, or more than that. Definitely the bottom up approach is the best approach. However, in the interim, you definitely will have to keep your programs running. I would suggest that the mighty startup, the way and the type 2.0 grants, the way they have developed this, they envisage this kind of the incubation center ecosystem, wherein you have G1C, G2C, and G3C, right? I think G3C centers look up to the G2C and G1C centers for the handholding. I think that probably is the best way I would suggest, rather than kind of looking at any of the, say, online platforms or something that you do. I would also suggest that make sure that you have interacted with your mentors before you start the kind of engagement with the startups and so on. It's very important that you kind of handpick them. I mean, they probably may be the best expert in the country in that area, but to be able to kind of translate their knowledge to the startup, it is also equally important. So ensure that you have interacted with them, you know that it's a good fit. So in that way, you can say that the mentor and mentee fit, that you ensure that you do. But please, if you do not have your own organically grown network, try to handhold, try to look for handholding with the kind of more experienced incubation centers, such as the one that Type 2.0 scheme has put together.
So we have a last question, probably. So can you please elaborate more on effects of equity from startups? So effects of equity from
I think I will probably, effects of equity is not something that I have understood. I'll probably tell a few bits about the equity. I think equity is probably the best model that we would say that really fits well. And the reason not mainly from the point of view of the potential revenues that we eventually will generate. I'm sure that many of the centers like CCAM, we are a not-for-profit organizations. We do not make profit that probably is taken back or somewhere else. It is plowed back in and it goes on again. So the reason we push for the equity is not mainly from the point of view of the potential kind of monetary gains, but it is more from the point that your success and the startup success are linked. You will succeed only if they will succeed, and they will succeed only if you will succeed. I think that's a very important motivation for us to be kind of in engagement with each other for the development of the activities. I think that's something that we do. Another, and this is something that I'm just quoting one of our graduated advancement program startup. What he said is that this program and the kind of CCAM team was more like a co-founder for him during that 1 year period. So really what you are working with them is actually you are sharing their successes and failures, and therefore equity only appears as one of the most important kind of way of engaging with each other. How do you kind of be able to kind of communicate this kind of aspect with the startups? It changes with the program to program or the organization to organization. But at least this is the way we communicate it with the startups.
Sure, sir. So I guess Carl has asked a question in the chat, so which is somewhat aligning with your answer. So it's a long question basically. So Carl has worked in a non-profit accelerator and for-profit accelerator in an investment firm, where he saw startups applying for multiple startup accelerators on an average 9 or up to 16. So it becomes hard to engage with the startups in non-profit accelerators, as they seem to be coming only for the money or investment. So while he saw startups being highly engaged in for profit accelerators. So what has been your experience in engaging startups in the respective accelerator programs, which are non-niche, unlike CCAM?
Right. So I think let me qualify my comments. And again, something you probably would see that we sit on the kind of deep tech life sciences domain. It's a very niche area. Even the gestation periods for some of the products could be as much as almost 10 years, correct? So we sit in a very different, distinctive niche area. And with that kind of context, I probably will tell you that given that we also sit in a place where not many kind of um, uh, uh, organizations you will see would be able to provide the kind of inputs, the kind of support and help that these startups require. And therefore our kind of I would say experience has been highly kind of promising, very positive in terms of getting to engage with the startups. And in fact, I would say that, I mean, going from the broad-based startup kind of programs to a theme-specific program such as in antimicrobial resistance or digital health or agri, I think shows that there also is a requirement, and there is also a very enthusiastic receiving of our programs with the startups.
Sure. So yes, so if there are any more questions, request the participants to please email me so that we can take it up for the uh, uh, which we can take it over email. So basically that's it for the day. Thank you so much everyone. Thank you sir, thank you Dr. Niranjan Garu and Dr. Meera. Thanks to the Forge team and CCAN team for supporting us for this initiative. Thanks to all the participants. So the third session would be on 14th, which would be on outreach, marketing and PR. Thank you so much, Dr. Niranjan sir. Thanks a lot for
Thank you. Thanks, Arvind. Thanks, Meera. And it was wonderful talking to all of you. hoping to continue this association and interaction.
Yes. Thanks.